What changed between Freen and Becky? The emotional truth fans didn't expect. When perfection started to crack. For years, Freen Sorocha and Becky Armstrong weren't just co-stars. They were magic. From the very first episode of Gap, the series, their chemistry felt too natural, too sincere, too real to be just acting. Every shared laugh, every glance, every accidental touch. Fans saw something deeper. They weren't watching characters. They were watching a bond unfold in real life. Together, Freen and Becky became a phenomenon. Not just in Thailand but across the globe, in the Philippines, Korea, Brazil and beyond. Their fanbase wasn't just huge. It was devoted. But fame is a double-edged sword. The closer the world looked, the more pressure they faced. And in between fan meets, photo shoots and endless filming schedules, something started to change. The smiles remained. But the warmth, it felt a little different. The beginning of the distance. The first signs were subtle, too soft to notice unless you were watching closely. During one fan meeting, Becky laughed a little less than usual. At another, Freen spoke more carefully, almost guardedly. They still stood side by side, but the space between them seemed to grow. At first, fans brushed it off. Maybe they were tired, maybe it was just a long day. But then, the online conversations started. Why does it feel different now? Their energy isn't the same. Did something happen between them? Clips from their earlier days, full of giggles, playful teasing and secret smiles, began circulating again with captions like, "I miss this Freen Becky." For a fandom built on connection, it was heartbreaking to watch. The post that broke the internet. Then came the post. Late one night, Becky uploaded a black and white photo, a blurry shot of two hands barely touching. Her caption read, "Some people walk beside you forever, even when they're not near." Hours later, Freen posted a photo of the night sky with a caption that said, "The moon is still there, even when clouds hide it." That was all it took. Within minutes, hashtags exploded. Hashtag Freen Becky, hashtag Where Are They Now, hashtag Still Together, all trending worldwide. Fans turned detectives, analyzing everything. Their posts, their interviews, their airport appearances. Was it heartbreak? Pause. Or just friendship finding new ground? No one had the answer, and yet, everyone felt the ache of something unspoken. Behind the cameras. Pressure, perception, and personal growth. The truth may not have been as dramatic as it seemed. Insiders revealed that both actresses had been struggling with the intense spotlight. They were together almost every day for over a year, one source shared. They adore each other, but sometimes even the closest people need space. Freen had started working on new projects, exploring her individual path. Becky, too, was branching out, developing her confidence and independence. But in the world's eyes, Freen Becky was inseparable, and that label became both their biggest blessing and their quiet burden. When the world expects you to always be a pair, how do you remember who you are alone? The interview that said everything without words. Months later, the two appeared in a joint interview. The room buzzed with nervous anticipation. Fans held their breath, waiting for a sign. When Becky was asked about Freen, she smiled gently and said, "We've grown together, and I'm always grateful for that. Growth doesn't mean distance, it means strength." Freen looked over at her, nodded, and added softly, "Sometimes love is not about being seen together all the time. It's about knowing you're still connected, no matter what." That brief exchange, calm, honest, mature, became one of the most replayed clips online. Fans cried, laughed, and fell in love with them all over again. It wasn't the loud, dramatic reunion people expected. It was quiet, real, and full of heart. The fans who never gave up. While the world speculated, the fans held on to faith. They continued making edits, sharing memories, and writing messages of love. They'll always find their way back, even if it's just as friends. What they have is real. It doesn't disappear just because we can't see it. From fan projects to charity donations in their names, the Freen Becky community kept the love alive. They weren't chasing rumors. They were protecting a bond that meant something much bigger than celebrity gossip. Because Freen and Becky didn't just represent romance. They represented hope, a kind of love that's pure, brave, and quietly unbreakable. The reunion that melted everyone's hearts. Their reunion moment came unexpectedly during an awards show months later. As they walked the stage together, the air shifted. Becky adjusted her mic nervously, and Freen, as she's done 100 times before, reached out to steady her hand. That simple gesture broke the internet. The crowd erupted. Fans screamed, cried, and flooded social media with captions like, "No matter what happens, they'll always be each other's comfort." Later that night, Freen posted a photo from the event with the caption, "Some connections don't need fixing, they just need time." And Becky commented with a single heart emoji. The fandom didn't need words after that. What changed? And what didn't? So what really changed between Freen and Becky? Maybe they just grew up. Maybe they learned that love, in all its forms, sometimes needs air to breathe. But what didn't change was the care, the mutual respect, and the quiet way they still find each other in a crowded room. It's no longer the same youthful spark that began on set years ago. It's something steadier. A bond that has survived fame, distance, and endless speculation. They didn't break apart. They simply became more human. The truth fans didn't expect. The emotional truth is this. Nothing truly ended. Freen and Becky may have walked through seasons of silence, but love doesn't always need words. Sometimes it hides in small smiles, shared glances, and gentle gestures that only those who truly see can understand. Their story isn't about separation or heartbreak. It's about evolution. How two souls can outgrow a chapter but still remain part of the same story. As one fan perfectly wrote, "They taught us that love doesn't fade. It just learns new ways to stay." So maybe what changed between Freen and Becky wasn't the love itself, but the way they carry it.